This is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. The 2023 Meet the People tour ended on Wednesday in Banjul, where a vast crowd gathered for a last round of dialogue with the president. Following site visits to the bank's funded project sites, the World Bank Regional Director for West Africa and Central Africa has expressed satisfaction with the progress of work at the Jabang substation, the Jambul Solar Power Plant, and the OMVG Power Station in Brikama. The Meet the People tour has manifested government's priority in infrastructure development. In line with this, the government is implementing several projects across the country. We'll look at a few of them. In international news, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has invoked the rarely used Article 99 of the UN Charter in a desperate appeal for international action on the Gaza crisis. Those were the headlines, now the news in detail. If you're just joining us, this is QTV Nightly News and I am Andy Kema. The 2023 Meet the People tour ended on Wednesday in Banjul, where a vast crowd gathered for a last round of dialogue with the president. Like in many parts of the country, the Banjul meeting spotlighted government's development record and challenges facing constituencies of the capital. QTV's Momodu Lamin-Choi has been covering the meeting and has the story.
President Adama Barrow is winding up his tour of the country in Gambia's capital, Banjul. From the State House to the Never Again Ash, the presidential motorcade drove with a large number of people who welcomed the president as he arrives for his last round of dialogue with Gambians. This is a joint meeting for the constituencies of Banjul North, South and Central. Opening the dialogue is Aissatou Njie, the Refela coordinator in the Gambia, who speaks on behalf of the Banjul Mayor, Rohey Malick Lowe. Aissatou Njie informs the gathering that the mayor had told her to convey a message that the time for politics is over and that it is now time for development. Ms. Njie informs the meeting that upon her return from the UN Climate Conference in Dubai, the mayor plans to convene a meeting with the councils to discuss how to partner with the president and his government for the development of the country. Safi Cham speaks on behalf of businesses at Albert Market and states that the market no longer has an abattoir and that the road that connects to the market is in bad shape. She urges government to develop the market into a modern one and support women with access to finance to enhance their economic ventures. Dudu Bite speaks on behalf of the Banjul Tourist Market, which is reported to be the first in the Gambia. Mr. Bite draws the attention of government to the location of the market, which he says is hard to locate and not conducive for progressive business. Abdullah Sanyang, speaking on behalf of the Banjul sailors, reminds the gathering that the ocean is the only source of livelihood for 95% of youth in Banjul, a large number of whom regularly knock on his office door for job opportunities in the fishing sector. Mr. Sanyang appeals to government to support the youth with fishing boats. The National Assembly member for Banjul North, Modulamin Ba, reports that government's Banjul rehabilitation project has had an impact on the capital by giving it a welcome and much-needed facelift. The Banjul North NAM acknowledges that works on this project is yet to be completed and calls on the President to consult the Ministry of Works for the project to be expedited. The newly appointed Executive Coordinator of Banjul, Ibrahima Jawo, commits to representing the President in the capital and advancing people's concerns to the head of state. The Executive Coordinator appeals to the President to consider devising or working with investors for a housing project in the capital to address the problem of those constrained by overcrowding, rental costs and homelessness. Hamad N. Keba, the Minister of Tourism and Culture, gives an assurance that a new tourist market will be built in the capital if his ministry finds a space for it. The minister lists a number of businesses which attracted tourists and have now closed operation in the capital. Minister Ba reports on his ministry's efforts in partnership with UNESCO to rehabilitate and maintain heritage sites in Banjul. President Barrow makes his last address to Gambians in his last dialogue with the people in the 2023 Meet the People tour. The development he has made in Banjul is unprecedented and that he is committed to bringing more. The head of state clarifies that the Banjul Rehabilitation Project has 3 phases and that it is now at its finishing stage. President Barrow also promises to develop the Banjul jetty with a cold storage and provide the youth with fishing boats. The head of state also reports that as part of the Women's Enterprise Fund, his government had provided credit facility of up to $5.6 million for 2,250 women beneficiaries from 55 women's groups in Banjul. Mahmoud Lamin Chai, QTV News.
Following site visits to the bank's funded project sites, the World Bank Regional Director for West and Central Africa, Frank Dries Gross, on Thursday expressed satisfaction with the progress of work at the Jabang substation, Jambur Solar Power Plant and OMVG Power Station in Brikama. And Sumana Sonyasi tells us more.
The visit was to assess firsthand the progress of work at these major project sites that once completed are expected to significantly improve NAWEC's energy supply and access to electricity across the country, especially within the Greater Banjul area. Led by senior officials of the World Bank Country Office and NAWEC, the visiting World Bank Regional Director, Frank Dries Gross, first visited the Jabang substation, which is near completion. He was taken on a tour of the facility and briefed by engineers on the progress. He then proceeded to the World Bank-sponsored $27 million solar power plant in Jambur. The foundation stone for this gigantic environment-friendly energy project was laid by the President in February this year. Here, the contractors informed the visiting World Bank Director that work is expected to complete by the end of the year and that the facility will be fully functional by February 2024. He then proceeded to the OMVG Power Station in Brikama, where he also toured the facility and engaged engineers working at the project site. Speaking to reporters, he expressed satisfaction with the progress of work at the three project sites.
I think what you can expect to see is more power, higher quality power coming to people in Banjul. People who are currently maybe supplying with generators will be able to get power more reliably from NAWEC, right? Which should help growth, should help NAWEC, and it should help the Gambia. Speaking
earlier, Idrissa Jaju, Deputy Managing Director of NAWEC, expressed optimism that once completed and fully functional, these projects will have a major impact on the country's electricity generation capacity and the energy sector, thereby making access to quality electricity supply a reality for all.
What this project is going to do is to make sure that the frequent interruptions in terms of our supplies, the quality of voltage that our customers are facing right now will be improved once these projects are completed.
Meanwhile, Faye Borofis, the World Bank country representative, says the bank's energy portfolio in the Gambia reflects the bank's commitment to enhancing lives and livelihoods in the country.
Our goals are to increase access to the people of the Gambia and also to help the Gambia on its efforts to diversify to renewable energy sources. So we're very excited about this solar plant, which is, we hope, the first of many. And we are looking forward to actually commissioning these sites in a few months, as has been described already.
The Gambia's electricity sector roadmap 2019-2025 aims to scale up the electricity generation via the OMVG project with Guinea and Senegal and the Swapiti project and the remainder through independent power producers. The three projects are expected to contribute significantly to the realization of the country's national energy targets. Ansman Esonyasi for KTV News.
The Meet the People tour has manifested government's priority in infrastructure development. In line with this, government is implementing several projects across the country. Significant among them is the construction of hundreds of kilometers of roads nationwide. QTV's Momodu Lamin Choi has been gathering some first-hand account on this and files this report.
Gambia is among the world's officially designated least developed countries where development is the most valuable service for every sector of the economy. However, Gambians are now beginning to see some signs of hope based on the government's development efforts. During this tour, journalists traveled with the president on a nationwide journey of discovery about what government has done or is doing to transform people's lives and the country's infrastructure landscape. In every region, we have seen projects and policies implemented to uplift the socio-economic status of the country, cutting across almost every sector of the economy.
It has always been my saying, no infrastructure, no development. So the infrastructure is key and it's important.
On Tuesday, President Barrow visited the Independence Stadium where government spent more than $100 million to upgrade it to international standard.
I came and make some inspection and observations. We still need more money. But I've just discussed with the finance minister before coming here that this is a matter that we have to deal with. And I told him this, and I think we have agreed that we will make so our emergency funds, we will use the funds to make so we do all the works that are necessary so that our stadium will be passed and we will start playing at home.
As part of the objectives of the tour, President Barrow visits some project sites to gather a first-hand account of progress and to assess the impact of such interventions on the lives of the taxpayers. Government's key strategy in infrastructure development is the construction of roads. The President deems it significant because through roads, people are more connected, communication and trade are faster for socio-economic growth. The President's first visit on this tour was the 87-kilometer Hakaland Road project in the North Bank region. Other roads in the President's itinerary were the 102-kilometer of Collier-Nyolofen Road and the Sankande Karantaba 39-kilometer road in Kiang, which when ready will improve mobility and trade for many communities. Omar Sise is the President of the Gambia Transport Union.
Even my transporter to engage, to hire them to go to this place is a concern for them. So that means that's going to boost economy, it's going to boost trade, it's going to promote the free movement within the Gambia and outside the Gambia. So we are grateful to work with your government. We will give our commitment to support you in terms of development of this country as far as transport aspect is concerned.
From the rural area, President Barrow ends his tour of the country, and as he begins his tour, the last projects he visited were roads being constructed in urban areas. Across the Greater Banjul area, the 50-kilometer OIC road project is shaping up well, leaving a positive impression on the President.
Very well. It has been a very difficult, period for us as far as these projects are concerned. But for today, definitely, I think I'm impressed with the progress of work. The 50-kilometer, that is Load 1 and Load 2, they are all progressing. Some of the roads, they target by end of December to finish some of the roads. And obviously, overall, we are targeting to finish by end of April.
On the journey towards registering sustainable progress, development infrastructure is seen as the basis for economic growth, which has the potential to create the conditions for poverty reduction and improve people's quality of life. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have national and international news stories. Stay with us.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected. Juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Welcome back. This is QTV Nightly News. The Central Bank of the Gambia Corporate Credit Union held its annual general meeting for the years ending 31st December 2019, 2020 and 2021. Lena E. Igueñiba reports.
Members of the Central Bank of the Gambia Staff Cooperative Credit Union, CBG-SCCU, gathered for a comprehensive overview of the credit union's performance. This included a thorough review of financial reports, key indicators, strategic planning, board member elections, and insights into the overall health of the cooperative. Karafa Jabate is the chairman of the Central Bank of the Gambia Cooperative Credit Union.
The Central Bank Staff Cooperative Credit Union has been here for a while now, and it has been on an improving side. We have improved significantly in terms of membership, in terms of our deposits, in terms of our other variables in finance. And as a board, we are very keen to ensure compliance for the fact that not only are we a credit union within the central bank, but we are also a regulatory body, the members of the credit union of the Central Bank Staff Association.
Fode Sanyang, General Manager of the National Association of Cooperative Credit Unions in Gambia, NACOG, shared valuable insights enhancing the credit union service to its members.
So the Central Bank Cooperative Credit Union have done very well over the past years, but again I encourage them to open the bond, which would allow others who are non-staff of the Central Bank to also become part of this credit union. They have over the years accumulated a lot of funds. Savings has increased, so is loans also to the members have also increased. Their reserves have also gone up significantly over the years, and we want to encourage that. But also there are areas where there need to be improvement, which we have advised them.
Acknowledging the recommendation from NACOG to allow commercial banks to join the union, a motion was put and received majority approval, with 6 cooperative members adopting the motion. Palis Mendy, treasurer of the Cooperative Credit Union, provided the financial statements.
Member savings have grown constantly from 11.3 million in 2019 to 18.1 million in 2020 and 26.4 million in 2021. The increase translates to 72.75% from 2019 to 2020 and 45.89% from 2020 to 2021. Reflecting members' trust in the credit union and deposit growth. The credit union has achieved significant growth, financial growth over the 3 years, with substantial increase in assets, income, and surplus. However, the increase in short-term obligations and operation expenses requires vigilant management to maintain the positive trajectory. Overall, the credit union's financial health appears strong, with a focus on members' saving and profitability.
Cooperative credit unions, such as the CBG-SCCU, offer members various benefits, including competitive interest rates on savings and loans, lower fees, personalized financial services, democratic decision-making through member voting, and a strong focus on community involvement and financial education. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
9 students at the Indian Institute of Hardware Technology Gambia, IIHT, presented their final projects on various topics in graphic design and digital marketing. Momodu Gajaga attended, and he now reports.
These students are multi-skilled, multi-talented, and determined to show their mastery of graphic design and digital marketing using various tools. The 9 students began their diploma in multimedia in January. As they reach the climax of their course, they are proud to present their final projects. Ami Cham, Amar An, and Lamin Sanyang were some of the students who presented their projects.
Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and the strategical landscape of digital marketing. Under Premiere Pro, Photoshop and Illustrator are designing tools. Premiere Pro is for video editing and animation. Under Photoshop, I have designed 2 flyers from Photoshop.
I'm coming to present on my project. Here is Google Ads. Google Ads is an online advertising platform whereby you can add audios, videos, where in those audios and videos you can be playing music, and then that audio will come automatically.
I've never seen a calendar pasted in the school. So, when they give us this project, I just sit and think like, what should I, present to what should I work on? So I come up with the conclusion that I will design a calendar for the school.
The Indian Institute of Hardware Technology Gambia has trained over 2,000 students since the institution began operations in 2019. These students were pursuing a diploma in multimedia. Eliman Eskar is the center manager.
When this class was assigned to our talented lecturer, Mr. Sow, we believe it was going to be a challenge as some of the students in the class had little or no knowledge on Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, SEOs, social media marketing, and the like. But 9 months along the way, these newbies have become professionals. I believe some of them have already started enjoying the benefits of their studies, right?
Njaga Sow, a lecturer at the institute, praised the students for working hard to complete their course and says it was a tough journey.
Definitely, it has been really a tough marathon since February. We've been here, struggling just to make an impact, and we've realized the fruits of our labor. These students, honestly, they've done tremendous job. Honestly, I'm really impressed with some of them. You know, and then it's something that IIHT is all up to make sure that to make the difference in the country. People are well aware of what they are doing, because with skills you can do what you are expected to do.
Hanklik S. Jose, Director of Business Development, one of the first lecturers of the school, says there are many opportunities in the job market when you have digital skills.
We start with the vision, because every time when people say there is no jobs, there is no opportunity in the Gambia, they are wrong. Look at the opportunity here. Lots of you guys, okay? The skills are there, it just need little training, little coaching. And trust me, we can make Gambia proud.
Student testimonies during their presentations have shown that some of them have started getting income from deploying the graphic design and digital marketing skills they have learned. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Now for some international news. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has invoked Article 99 of the UN Charter in a desperate appeal for international action on the Gaza crisis. The seldom invoked diplomatic tool allows the Secretary General to call attention on issues that threaten the maintenance of international peace and security.
Article 99 is a special power and the only independent political instrument given to the Secretary General in the UN Charter. The last Secretary General to formally invoke it was the Mexican, Javier Pérez de Cuellar, in reference to the situation in Lebanon in 1989, and before that it had been invoked only 5 times in the UN's history. This now forces the UN Security Council to have at least another meeting on the conflict, though it cannot force a resolution. The Council is yet to adopt a resolution calling for a ceasefire amid differences between permanent members. The United States, Israel's chief backer, has vetoed a resolution, while Russia, more critical of Israel, has blocked another one. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Gilad Erdan, did not welcome Guterres' move. In a post on X, he described the UN Secretary General's letter to the Security Council as more proof of Guterres' moral distortion and his bias against Israel. He says the Secretary General's call for a ceasefire is actually a call to keep Hamas's reign of terror in Gaza. And he also repeated his call for Guterres to resign. Guterres in his letter said the Council's continued lack of action and the sharp deterioration of the situation in Gaza had compelled him to invoke Article 99 for the first time since he took on the top job at the UN in 2017. However, according to many analysts, the use of Article 99 has had mixed results in the past, though it has never really brought peace. In the view of one analyst, that's because the Secretary General's intervention does not fundamentally change the political calculation of the Security Council's most powerful members. So while Guterres' letter carries symbolic weight, it is unlikely to have any practical impact on the Security Council's work. The number of people killed in Gaza since Israel began attacking the Strip in response to the deadly Hamas October 7 attacks has risen to 17,177, and a further 7,600 are missing, the Hamas-run health minister said on Thursday. The Secretary General's warning may not galvanize the Security Council, but it has ramped up the rhetorical pressure on Israel to accept a ceasefire and will likely fuel more protests around the world in support of the Palestinians. But perhaps more worryingly, When his warning is considered in the light of the rising number of deaths in Gaza, one shudders to think what will be the cost of ignoring it. For QTV News, I'm Mamadou Mboj.
Before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. The 2023 Meet the People tour ended on Wednesday in Banjul, where a vast crowd gathered for a last round of dialogue with the president. Following site visits to the bank's funded project sites, the World Bank Regional Director for West and Central Africa, Frans Drees Groos, has expressed satisfaction with the progress of work at the Jabang substation, the Jambul solar power plant, and the OMVG power station in Brikama. The Meet the People tour has manifested government's priority in infrastructure development. In line with this, government is implementing several projects across the country. We looked at a few of them. In international news, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has invoked the rarely used Article 99 of the UN Charter in a desperate appeal for international action on the Gaza crisis. Well, that's all we have for you in this bulletin. Join us at 10 p.m. for another news bulletin. Thanks for watching.